Hello. I've had a problem with my lathe. This lathe I purchased used. I reckon it's a no-name, sort of a no-name generic Chinese thing that I'm not really sure what they sell for new. I think the same company probably makes lathes for a lot of different badges. Like this one here, it's called a Sure Power Tools. But when you try to look them up online, yeah, it doesn't really take you there. It's not like they have a website. That doesn't really mean that much, I suppose. But I had a problem. When I bought this, it had been sitting idle for a while. And there's some works in the back here. Using this lever, you can change speed. And I was trying to get that freed up because it was not working. I ended up having to use some oil, and I made the mistake of using a screwdriver, and you'll see the parts here in a minute. But I broke a part of the pulley, and the pulleys are, one's spring compressing, and the other one is driven by this mechanism in here. Makes one pulley smaller, but the other one has to allow for the belt, doesn't change length. So the other pulley changes diameter as well, effective diameter, and it changes your speed. And it worked okay, even though it was, I broke a bit of the, chipped a bit of the edge of it out. On the very fast speed, when I went this to the fastest speed here, the belt was getting chewed up by the rough edges of the pulley. Ended up breaking a belt. It's an M23. And I figured anyways, it was probably, now I'm a novice and I was trying to get to use this lathe. And it was worthwhile trying to fix the lathe. So I ordered some parts. Well, I couldn't order them correctly from this company. I found a company in China, but they wanted like $50 for this pulley. I went online to a company called let me get the receipt. So I went to this company, Replacement Parts, and although they didn't have this piece of this manufacturer listed, they did have one listed for Jet, a Jet 900. I don't know if it's a model that Jet still makes or not, but I compared some of the exploded drawings that they had, and it's pretty much identical to this lathe. The little shield back here was the same on the Jet. The switch is in a different position, but it still had a similar switch. All the clamping arrangements, all the special tools that come with it, that piece was the same as what Jet had. This little thing here, which is supposed to fit there normally, I don't use it, but that's identical. The tailstock is slightly different on the Jet. So anyways, that's the lathe, an MC900 by Sure Tools, which is similar enough that when I ordered the replacement parts, I got this set of pulleys, which is, it was $34. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a video on changing these pulleys. I have to spin this around. The first thing when I picked the thing up was I broke this lever. This lever fits here. And that, I thought just because it dropped on it, it broke it, and it's a bit of cast iron. And I thought, well, geez, that was stupid, you know, but it's got a hex there so I can use a wrench. Well, every other part that came on it, there was a thing here that you were able to adjust. There was one here like that. All of those broke off because the cast was such a poor quality that they just broke off. So this is not a very good lathe. But having said that, it works well enough for me. So to get this off, rotate it. It's made complicated because I've got this here to hold a light. So that just means I can't spin it this way, I have to spin it this way. This is just a clamp, And this is sort of a turret arrangement. Pull this little thing out here, and this spins. Okay, now I can get to the gears. I'll change the position of the camera so you can see all this. Works well. One thing I just have to take note is turn the power off for this, so I'm not going to be inadvertently turning it on. There are 4 screws that hold this little shield on. And there we go. There's the damage that I'd done when I was trying to pry this out and lubricate all the parts here, and it ended up breaking off that little pulley. So to take this off, I think all I have to do, it's pretty strong. I should be able to, there's enough clearance there to stretch this pulley off, or the belt. It's very tight. Got this belt on here somehow. Should be able to get it off. Oh, well, there you go. It's really tight clearance there. Belt still looks okay, so even though I've been running it with this bad pulley, should be alright. So now, this part here, I think it's as simple as taking off that snap ring, removing the spring. Okay, so there's that snap ring. The spring here is just kind of pressed onto that pulley, and the pulley comes right off. Now this one here is held on by some set screws. See if it's the same size Allen key, and it is. Just loosen them up a bit. There we go. Okay. Now I think, see, this one already has set screws in it, so probably all I need to do is put that back on there. I think I might clean that up a bit and re-lubricate it. What I've got here is some brush, turpentine, or terps for paint cleaning. As good as anything to clean up that a bit. There's a snap ring there, I'm not going to touch that. It's going to clean the shaft up and lube that. Help the pulleys work nice and smooth. No real apparent wear on the shaft, and I wouldn't expect it to be, because the person I bought it from was an older lady, and she pretty much said she bought it. I think she may have goofed around with it for a little bit, and then it sat for more than 10 years. She never really used it for anything, and then ended up selling it to me. So that's the back end. It's got to make sure it just engages the... Okay, the set screws are retracted. Hard up against that snap ring in the back. Set these set screws. Okay, one thing I'm going to do to try to make sure this stays nice is I'm going to give that some lubrication, some dry lube. If I used any kind of oil or anything here, look how dusty it is in here. That dust would just collect and it'll get all gummed up again. So I'm going to use a graphite. I'm going to use this graphite, which is a dry lube, obviously. You know, I'm thinking I might have to redo this in here as well. There's some grooves inside, probably for lubrication, retaining lubrication or something. I just might fill those with graphite as well. My hand. Okay, that's the correct way out. Now, theoretically, I just reassemble in the order that I took it apart. Should just have to put the snap rate back on. Nice. The actual mechanism uses this lever, pull it out, and I should be able to move that in and out like that. And it seems to work pretty well. I don't know that I'm going to be able to take this pulley off and actually lubricate it. I might just spray in some dry lube and call it good. Oh, well, there you go. Came right off. This turpentine should be good because it'll evaporate. It won't leave shouldn't leave an oily film. It's the oily film that can cause a problem and cause gumming. Right in here is what I'm trying to get to. You can see this, moving this lever. There's the gear down here, which is running on the end of the shaft of the lever I'm pulling on here. And that's moving this bracket in and out. And that bracket has a bearing, and that bearing is what's got this captive pulley on it. Causes it to go in and out. So I'm just putting in some graphite here. Moving better though, just me doing this a little bit. Okay, it should be good enough for me to put this back on now. Snap ring goes right there. Snap it in there. I think we're good. There. Put it all the way out against the snap ring, and then I'll tighten up the set screws. Okay, I just went to try to find some different Allen keys, because the ones I was using are metric and they're a good brand. So either these are not metric, even though this is Chinese. It's unlikely that it's imperial. That doesn't fit. It sort of fits, but not quite. That's imperial, so let's try different. That's much better. Okay, still not quite a very good fit. It's good enough for this. Okay, so that's good. I need to tighten this one as well, since I tried that earlier and it didn't want to tighten up. I think it's still about the same problem. So it's I don't know what size those Allen keys are, but they're not very good. And put the belt back on. belt is very soft. It's not like your normal drive belt. And that should be good. I'm going to plug it in here. See how we go. I think I've got it on high at the moment. That's very low. Very fast. Good. Put the guard back on. We're finished. Okay. Rotate that back around. Clamp back up. Kind of afraid to tighten this up too much because knowing what the cast iron's like, it probably will break. But I think that's it. Job done.